Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to be taking some time to respond to some questions and comments I've gotten over the past weeks and months in the YouTube comments. Although I do read each and every one of them, I don't always have time to respond to all of them. So I thought, hey, let's make a video of it and have some fun with it. Now before we get right into it, I do have a full Java course available in a link down in the description. There you'll find dozens of videos exclusive to the course packed with Java knowledge, so go check it out. Now, first up is a very important set of comments, of course. I do get a lot of comments about being follically challenged. Like here from Sanjay, he says, do you guys observe one thing? Senior developer YouTubers like John, Code with Mosh, Naveen Reddy from Telsco, don't have hair on their head. I think they are hiding dark side of IT industry. And also Rohit says, in the process of learning to code, you lose your hair. Senkai says, when your hair starts to fall out, you realize your Java skills are improving. Lakshya says, looking forward to your hair sponsorship. And also Andrew, in my video about how Java strings are immutable, he says, your hairstyle is immutable. Patrick Bateman says he gave up his hair for Java superpowers, hashtag bald people have superpowers. Cyros says, thanks GigaChad bald man. Co-Gaming Hub says, you good bro, but why you bald? Not really sure what he'd like me to do about that. Edge Lamer says, nice tutorial, Mr. Baldhead. Subscribed. Thank you so much. Now, of course, this goes on and on. I get these kinds of comments all the time. Now these commenters might have a point. There does seem to be kind of a theme across some of these programming instructors on YouTube. I think if I just got a little bit thicker glasses and maybe had a little bit more glowing of a smile, I might look just like Mosh. And hey, Mosh makes amazing videos and has millions of subscribers. I should be so lucky. Let's see. Gotta get that confident smile. And he doesn't even really shy away from it. In all his thumbnails, his head is like glowing. Another thing though that I've learned from all these comments is that if you're bald and wear glasses, people will say that you look like basically anybody else in the world who is bald and wears glasses. I've been compared to basically every bald guy with glasses that I can possibly think of, and many that I've never heard of. Yes, I am bald. No, there's not much that can be done about that. Now, with all these programming YouTubers that seem to be hair challenged, you might conclude that there could be some kind of cause-effect relationship between programming, or even programming in Java in particular, and losing one's hair slowly or extremely quickly over time. Now, of course, I'm not positive whether that's true or not, but for a comparison, here is a picture of me in my freshman year of college, just as I was starting my programming journey. Now compare that with what you see now after about 15 years of programming. Now, of course, correlation does not equal causation, but it might be something to consider. So next up, Owen Kelly says, why am I paying thousands to learn this at college when YouTube is so much better? And Benji Guy says, John, sir, you explain this a lot better than a university I spend a lot of money at. Thank you, you bloody legend. And Mr. Genetics says, paying thousands of dollars for university courses to be poorly taught from a careless and lifeless teacher. And here this man taught a concept I clearly grasped in 7 minutes. God bless the American education system. And so yeah, I really do appreciate these kinds of comments. I'm always genuinely happy that I'm able to help people grasp subjects that they spend hours in a class or maybe looking through other kinds of videos and just it didn't make sense, and there was just some little gap that they couldn't quite make the mental leap for. Like I see what, like, you're trying to tell me something, and I have all this understanding about Java and programming, but I don't know what you're trying to get at. And what I try to do in my videos is identify what I think that gap is. And then what I try to do is just lay out the path across that gap as succinctly and clearly as I can figure out a way to do. And there are a few videos that I'm especially proud of that I think I've done that really well with. The video on generics, I've gotten a lot of feedback about that. That's one I'm really proud of. Now that said, all these people saying, thank you, I'm paying thousands of dollars, taking some class at a college or wherever else. My Java course is a tiny fraction of the cost of one class in one semester that you might have in a college or university. Link down in the description. Yeah, just saying. Next we have Suslavilla, who says, Are you a metalist? And Vic says, so you're telling me that not only are you really good at teaching, but you also have great taste in music as well? And yes, it is absolutely true. I love music. I especially love metal. And I know they're like the most popular metal band in the world, so it's not really cool to like them, but Metallica definitely is my favorite band. I play guitar, as you can see behind me. I also have a bass, but that's not my bass. That's a friend's bass that they've just left here. And I also do play the drums. They used to be in the back of a lot of my videos, but now I rearranged the room and it's over here. It's off to the side. I don't get the chance to play the drums anywhere near as much as I would like to nowadays with a wife and now 2 kids in the house. I have been asked by a couple of people, hey, are you ever going to play any of those instruments in any of your videos? I really don't see how it would ever make sense in any Java tutorial video, but maybe in kind of a fun video like this, maybe someday. If I can think of some kind of a way that it would make sense to get it in, sure, I'm not against it. Next up, we have a number of comments, all with the same kind of theme, like Bind H Mahmood here, who says, I love this, but why is it in 3x speed? Adidayo says, you are too fast for a beginner, couldn't follow. Mohammed says, you're too good and way too fast. I watch the videos either at 0.75 or 0.5. Am I normal? So yeah, over the last couple of years, I have gotten a fair number of comments saying, hey, you're just talking too fast. I love your content, but boy, you just talk really fast. And I guess I don't necessarily disagree, but there is a couple of things about that. One is, it's just kind of the way I talk. And if I was trying to just talk about something in a natural way, I'm going to talk in the speed that I would talk in real life. And if I try and just slow it down like this, it changes my whole manner of delivery, and it's not really me being me giving off that information. And I think it would come off like that. I don't think people would get into it as much as they do when I try and just talk normally. I try and do these videos as I would describe these topics to someone sitting next to me. Like if I talk more slowly like this, maybe it's more understandable, but it's a lot less, I guess first it's a lot less fun for me because I don't just get to talk and describe something and get into it how I would normally like to do it. And I think that kind of naturalness comes across on your side as well, or at least I hope it does. And so I do think it's true that there will be some people who might have to watch at a slower speed or go back and rewatch things. Every time I record or edit one of these videos, I'm trying to strike kind of a balance. I'm trying to actually get the information across in a way that's digestible, but I'm also trying to keep people interested and keep people watching. Of course, if I dive off into every little detail and describe everything really slowly and methodically 100% of the time, a lot of people are gonna get just bored watching it and they're gonna go off somewhere else. So I'm always trying to find that balance. Sometimes I might be a little bit too fast. Sometimes I might get too in the weeds on a particular subject. I apologize. I'm doing my best, I promise. Next, we have this individual who apparently goes by 12, who says, can you record your video without your face because it takes a lot size of megabytes? And also Makita, who says, we actually don't really need to see you this close in your videos. Even when I downside the video window, your face and head are still way too big. So yeah, I don't know. Putting my face in the videos was something that I decided on really, really early. Like I think my very first video had my face in it. I do think that showing my face in my videos allows me to get just, I don't know, a little bit more of a personal connection. I like being able to see the person who's teaching me something. Then I can see that if they're excited about something, I can be excited about it. At the beginning, it absolutely made me very, very self-conscious, and it also makes, recording these videos more of a complicated affair. I have to have lighting, I had to buy a camera, I have to try and make myself not look absolutely awful. And I do try to make my head as unobtrusive as I can. I put it off in the corner. Whenever it's obstructing some text, I move it out of the way. But I don't know, if you can't stand seeing my face at all, maybe you can put something over, that corner of the screen to block it out. It is a little bit weird of a concept for someone to be like, hey, I like your YouTube videos, but man, I can't stand your face. Next up, Bilal says, great and professional. What is the tool you are using to record and manage it, please? So that is a question I do get occasionally. Basically, how do you go about creating these videos? What tools do you use? So let's just talk about that a little bit. Since the very beginning, I've been using OBS to record my screen. I think that stands for Open Broadcaster Software. It's completely free. It's full featured. It has everything you could possibly want to record your screen. You can also do streaming with it, which I have not done yet. I also record my audio all through OBS. And I actually use this little lapel mic that I got off of Amazon for like $12. It's still basically the same one that I used right at the beginning. That's plugged directly into my computer, and you can see right here that it's recording my audio right here through OBS. Now, as for the video, until not very long ago at all, maybe just a few months ago, I just used my phone and combine it with the audio in the screen captured by OBS, and that's what I would use. Now, especially because of the kind of content that I produce, it's not very video heavy. I have my face, but other than that, the important part is the screen capture. So the camera wasn't especially important. I think what's more important is the audio. I've had a lot of people complain about the audio near the beginning when I didn't really know what I was doing, and I still kind of don't know what I'm doing, but I at least know enough that I need to treat the room that I'm in to make it not sound awful and not record right next to an air conditioner like I have done a couple of times. Now I do have an actual camera that I record on. It's what I'm staring at right now. It's a Sony ZV-E10. It's not super fancy, but I think it gives good video quality, and it was relatively inexpensive, and now I don't have to use my phone anymore. Now, as for what I'm recording on, here, I'll just show you. So I am just sitting in front of my laptop. So I don't even use, a big fancy desktop. It's just a relatively inexpensive laptop that I have done all my programming videos with. Now, as far as video editing goes, ever since the beginning all the way up to now, all I've used is a free tool called DaVinci Resolve. I didn't know anything at all about video editing before I got started, so I just kind of learned as I went. I think the only thing that I actually spent money on was the microphone, and that was $12. It was literally this microphone, cost $12, link down in the description if you want it, but it's basically just a no-name Amazon brand. So if you're thinking of starting a channel like this, but worried about the cost of any sort of equipment and stuff like that you need, don't worry about buying a fancy camera. Especially at first, you can get really, really far just with your phone. Make sure your audio is decent. I think people will leave your video way faster for bad audio than they will for bad video. Next, we have Patrick, who says, "Man, I just love you so much. This is so clear and understandable." And MGTV says, "Dude, I love you." And Malak says simply, "I love you." So that is all a little bit strange, hearing that all from mainly men that I don't know personally. But I guess all I can say to that is, I love you too, guys. I love you too. So if you enjoyed this kind of video, let me know in the comments, and maybe we'll do more like this in the future. And if you have any of your own questions, either programming or not programming related, go ahead and let me know in the comments too. And you might just see them answered in an upcoming video, a lot like this one. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here and just hanging out with me. And I'll see you next time.